So I'm with the MD and founder of Thorns Group and also minus 45 dB, Jon Noonan. Caught up with Jon last year at Confex annual event. Jon, love to hear your thoughts on what you're doing and the industry in general. But let's start off with, what you brought to the show. And you're looking very dapper in a football kit there. You got your own team, I see.
Yeah, so we've this year we decided, I think over the last couple of years, what we've been doing is we've done the meeting spaces and the meeting rooms, which are very, very good, very popular all over the world. But what we wanted to do now is more of an experiential experience. So for those experiential agencies to try and showcase what minus 45 dB can be to other sectors. So we've tied in with Make Associates and CT Creative and minus 45 to curate a football experience, which we're ultimately looking for the World Cup. We thought was very current. So we put a bit of an experience together, which is called the Boot Room, and it's around people coming in. It's backed by OpenAI, so it's generating avatars of individuals in there. There's a leaderboard, so it's a really good experience for brands to utilize for fundamentally the World Cup. Yeah. So completely different to what we have done previously with regards to sort of meeting rooms, breakout rooms, and those spaces into a real sort of immersive experience. So, that's what we brought this.
And how has the product evolved? I know you had several iterations before you released it, and you're a perfectionist, I know, but where are we up to now?
So I think we've got, I think it's version 45. I think last year it was version 41, and actually we brought 37 to market. So developments wise, so far we've now got suspended ceilings in the structures, so that can be specific lux settings for lighting, but you can have a suspended ceiling like this that we're in here. We've also done the splits out of the rooms. So we did an event here a couple of weeks ago, which is fundamentally a 5-bedroom flat. All within one sound reduced space for a client that was looking for a private space. So we can now carve those rooms up into multiple, so lounge areas, into a meeting room, into a carvery or dining room.
Podcast studios as well.
Podcast studios, recording studios, so false walls where back of house all the kit's kept behind, so all of the technical desks are kept there, and then recording studios for them. We've done those. So I mean it's
and what about the smaller rooms that I saw last time, the pods?
Yeah, so they are, they're really good. They're transactional. So what's nice about those is a stand can take them, an organizer can take them, and they're absolutely flying. Obviously, it's a very premium solution in the look and feel of it, which everyone's liking, and the ability to brand them is great. So,
Now, I've seen you and your work in your factory workshops, and you're a whiz doing that, but in recent years, you've obviously been turning your hand to the marketing and growing the company abroad.
Yes.
Tell us about that. And let's start with the Middle East, if I may, an area that's very dynamic, as we know.
The Middle East is amazing. Yeah. And I would recommend to any business to try and get out there. I think it's, there's so much about it. So we launched there in September last year. And the thing with the Middle East is they want you to be there. So, I tried to do it hybridly. I think last time I was trying to do it from the UK before, just couldn't do it. And they were very polite about it, but they want to see you there. They want to know that you're investing in the region. So we launched their physical presence in September last year. So that is a full warehouse setup, full-time team out there. We've got stock in region, we've got manufacturing in region. We're servicing the whole of GCC. So that is anywhere from Saudi through to Doha, through to Abu Dhabi.
What were the challenges, and what advice would you give someone starting out on that path again?
I think when you're used to doing business in the UK, there is a comfort with the way that we operate, because we operate quite slowly over here. So a lease here will take 3 or 4 months. A lease in the Middle East, you can literally get it in days. So the speed and the pace in that region is unbelievable. And that is across all areas. So that is that is across briefs, across delivery, across the way that people do business, where they operate around everything. It's so fast paced. So one piece of advice is get out there. I think you need to, I spent 2 years out there before we did anything out there, to understand the lay of the land, understand the nuances, the culture, and the culture of, not necessarily the culture of the country, which is really important, but the culture of business. And what's really nice about it is so collaborative. So and people are open and accessible. And there isn't that tall poppy syndrome that you kind of tend to get in the UK.
Yeah.
So everyone wants you to do well, and they will support you.
And clearly the market needed your products, and so you're pushing it an open door. But from what I see with other companies in the event space, that our industry is really appreciated because it fits into their economic plans. I think, what is it called, Dubai 2030?
Yeah.
So that they almost fast track you in certain areas. I'd imagine though it's still quite expensive to invest, because you obviously have to put some money down to start off.
Yeah, it is. It's I think the other part which is really nice about the Middle East is they've got a clear strategy, not to get into geopolitics or anything like that, but it's really evident when you spend time out there that there is a very clear strategy to the region. Yeah. And then when you come back to the UK, it's very clear that there is no strategy whatsoever. And that is really challenging to sort of balance those two and make them work. And out in the Middle East, that strategy, albeit, look, there's loads of stuff that's not great about the region, but there's a load of stuff that is very good. It's very challenging around that side. But I think once you start to get into the right circles, they welcome you in, and they try and grow with you. So that's really reassuring.
And so where you're based, are there other companies there within the same sector? So that
we're slightly further out. So the main area for events is DIP. We're in DIC, which is Dubai Industrial Complex City. Sorry. So we're a little bit further out just because we're new to market and we needed to obviously manage the cost base. But we're only talking 15 minutes. So we've got a full setup. So like I said, we've got a 25,000 square foot warehouse there. We've got a whole host of full-time employees there to drive it forward. And the other people that are in our world, in our events world, are 10 minutes down the road, and we know them.
How many staff do you have out there?
We've got 5 full-time staff.
5 full-time staff, yes.
And then that's supplemented by, similarly to UK, around strategic partners around labour, on-site labour, site management on a freelance basis, stock the porterage and things like that. So we've got a supply chain that supports us on.
And why did you choose Dubai rather than, let's say, Saudi?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. What we're seeing at the moment is Saudi. I think we're at the second. We've got businesses that we emulate out there where they've been there for 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, 20 years. So they really saw the beginning of Dubai. Saudi started kicking off about 5 years ago. Now, if you operate in Saudi, they expect you to head office in Saudi now. The beautiful thing that we've got is because we don't exist anywhere, that we don't. So we don't need to do that because people are bringing us in to the country. It will get to a point where they'll expect us to. But the reason why I set up in Dubai is it's an established market. So what I was very conscious of is what I didn't want to do is go from this Western culture into Saudi, which is very different to the way that we operate. I mean, that place, very diverse, changes really, really quickly. And they're on a constant battle to drive the business forward, grow their as in grow Saudi as a destination. And with that comes inherently challenges around stuff changes really, really, really quickly. Whereas Dubai is a bit of a more settled market. So it's almost like a stepping stone for me to say, Saudi isn't as wild as Dubai isn't as wild as Saudi. So therefore, let's take the step into Dubai. A lot of the stuff in Dubai is run by, they've had 20 or 30 years of operating with Western businesses and companies and understanding. So that business culture shift wasn't as drastic for us to go from here to Saudi.
But could you operate in Saudi from your Dubai base?
So we do now. So we've done multiple shows in Saudi since September. And we did Tourize for MBS, so his big tourism event in November last year. Provided all of the meeting rooms for that show. Amazing event. Incredible venue, like absolutely unbelievable venue. So we can operate in Saudi. We do operate in Saudi. We do it all from Dubai.
And do you have contracts with some of the big organisers out there?
Yeah, hopefully. I've got quite a big contract in my inbox at the moment, but the stand's been pretty busy, so I haven't been able to sign it. But we are in conversations with all of the biggest people in the world. You will have seen some of my my LinkedIn stuff around some of the conversations that we're having, and it's really exciting.
And what about government work? I remember you telling me that you did some work. Was it for the G7 or the UK government?
EPCF for Foreign Office and Commonwealth Department.
Is that? I mean, that's a hard area to break into.
It is. It is, and because it's so disjointed, so you can, I suppose, like any event, you think that you've cracked it when you get, say, one agency or direct to, and then you realise that that's just one agency that's got a portfolio of work, and then you need to get all the other agencies to be able to do that. So it's still an area of focus. The product that we have is 100% that market absolutely loves it. To have private, confidential conversations. I mean, to have a Keir Starmer, Zelensky, Donald Tusk, Macron in your rooms. I mean, it proves it's got. I was going to use a tagline: "If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for you." But I mean, we've had them all in our structures. So I mean, it will be part of that ecosystem as soon as we have a level. Because they'll start coming to events and go, look, I want -45 dB. It's like, you know, I don't want Shell Scheme or Trad Build or, you know, MDF, Rockwell MDF. You know, I want a premium solution.
And now you have so many case studies.
So many. It's fantastic.
Can we move to the United States? Because I remember following one of your freighters over there, and it probably gave you a few nighttime sweats with the tariffs and all the problems. But I suppose what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I've literally just had that conversation, actually. I was just with the I.M.E.C.E guys who we're tied in with for the show in Vegas, and I think, like you say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, that was, I mean, it was the worst month of my career, without being too dramatic. I mean, it was horrific. The only saving grace around that was that it was for us and I.M.E.C.E, who were exceptionally accommodating. And if they weren't such nice people, I think it'd probably be very different. But I think what it was, like you say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You learn so much more in those situations than you do in the successes. And I know that's sort of like rolled out so often by people, but you really understand.
I must say your openness, Jon, was a masterclass in crisis management. Because, you know, those things can kill you, you know, can kill businesses. But if you show that you roll with it and, you know, want to make things better, however bad the situation is, I think it only reflects well on you, you know.
Yeah, and it was a big, I remember I was stood in the middle of Vegas, and I was still with my ops director. And I was like, Jim, I'm going to put this out there, because what I'm also very conscious of is, everyone puts this Instagram versus reality life forward in business, and it's not like that. I mean, it's really difficult. There's ups and downs, there's real challenges, and I think it was wrong to like sugarcoat it and gloss over what was fundamentally a huge error, irrespective if it was in our control or not. And he was like, "Oh, please don't do it. Like, please don't," because he thought it was his responsibility, and there was nothing that we could physically do. So he felt he had failed. And I was like, look, we've just got to own it. We've got to be honest. We've got to. And interestingly, the responses that we got was so reassuring, and from senior people, because you then realise that it's everybody's fear. Like, in events, you're in control of most. You're in control of most of it. But I wasn't in control of the ship breaking down. It taking.
Were you tempted to go inside one of your rooms and have a good scream?
Well, I did on numerous occasions. Well, I tried to, but they weren't there. On a ship by Panama.
Now, let's not forget your other business, the Thorns Group. I think, are you doing that as well here, Confex?
Yeah, so that's here as well. So we're supporting that. That's in a really good place. It's and again, that balance between balancing Thorns Group, which is the engine behind -45 dB. We can't ever forget that. And balancing -45 dB. Sometimes it feels like Thorns Group becomes this secondary thing, and it's not. I mean, optics looks like it is, but it's the driving force behind everything that happens within -45 dB on every single level. And so we're here with that here. We are looking at putting that into the Middle East. So we've got furniture in the Middle East now as well. And there's a whole host of other contracts that we're in discussions with at the moment across UK and Europe to see whether that might be scaling as well.
And for all these plans you've had, and more than plans, you're actually acting on them. Have you tapped any new investment for that? Because I imagine you had to, you know, invest heavily in some of the.
Yeah, it's all self-funded at the moment. So, and I think we get approached by VC and PE quite a lot. But for me, it changes the dynamic of things quite significantly. It would take out a huge proportion of the challenges around funding, around deep pockets, around assets, and
Yeah.
it would take all of those out,
Yeah.
but it would add a few extra dimensions, perhaps that that I don't think that we want really.
No, great.
And it's hard to, not that it's not about giving stuff away, but I have a very clear vision of this product. Like everything is like my vision, and it's quite hard to potentially give some of that away or lose control of that.
That's your baby, yeah.
Well, it is.
My final question, John, you know, how have you found the show yesterday and today at Confex? You know, we've tried to step it up. I hope you noticed.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's I said to a couple of other people that it feels really elevated this year. It feels like people have found budget to put back into the stands.
Yeah.
It feels taller and higher, which is always a bit of a sign where people are going at height. I think the clientele base is really good, as always. You know, I think you deliver a really good show here.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it's really interesting because obviously out of COVID, it was obviously challenging for the industry, and it feels I mean, you would say it was probably back last year, but I won't be unsurprised when you come out with your stats. It's massively growth, and that the feedback's been superb. So.
I mean, I think you're dead right in terms of ecosystems in the Middle East, you know, being something that we need to aspire to as well. But I think you can't take away from the organising power and skill of the UK.
Oh yeah,
and hopefully that's our trump card, and you know we can improve in other areas, but you know maybe got something to teach the world in that.
We have we have the best people here. The challenge is, unless you get your politics correct in this country, you lose them. And that's what's happening. We're losing people every single month. So we're losing talent out to the Middle East. I mean, it's flocking out there. It's amazing. We've got these huge agencies which are growing exponentially out there, and they're recruiting out there now as opposed to over here.
Well, I noticed you've appointed, is it Karine O'Malley?
Yes, we have.
You're still recruiting, and
so we're growing a team.
We're
growing a team here. Really excited about Karine. I mean, her CV speaks for itself. I mean, to run a venue like Excel and run the level of service that she operated at within this business is amazing. So for me, and she's been a very early adopter. There's a few people within our business who have been there from literally day one. And so the thing about Karine was, I was sounding stuff off Karine from day one, saying like before it, like when it was an idea in my head, I was sounding things off Karine. So she's been part of this journey right from the beginning. Similar to yourself, where you were like the first person to come in and see. So these people that are around us, it's really nice that we've got to a place where it's aligned. You know, she obviously left Excel last year, and I never thought that we would be an opportunity to be able to have Karine as part of our team. And it's so cool to have her because she's so good at what she does. It's unbelievable. So.
Well, thank you, John. Thanks for your time as always, and hopefully we can do this again next year.
Fingers crossed.
Cheers.
Pleasure.